Hi, and welcome back to our Advanced Squadlet tutorial series. Several of our viewers have asked for an example of the ASL off-board artillery rules. We will do this by showing what happens when everything goes perfect, and then carry out the variations from there. Once you have played several scenarios with the OBA rules, it becomes second nature, and they add a whole new dimension to this great game. The first step is to configure the chit draw pile. Every nationality has a ratio of black chits and red chits. These ratios are found in the national capabilities chart shown below. Since our observer in this example will be German, we will use 8 black cards and 3 red cards, which is the draw pile for the Germans. We then shuffle them together, and that becomes the draw pile to be used for this scenario. There are several modifiers to this pile which we will address later. Next, we look at the radio counter itself. First, it's labeled as a radio. It weighs 1 portage point. The triangle means that the use of the support weapon is not modified by the leader, DRM modifier. So whether it will be a 6+1 Corporal or a 10-3 Rommel, the radio contact number is the same. In this case, it is an 8, which is the radio contact number for the Germans. Now, we place our leader, his radio, and the proposed targets onto the map board. A Russian 447 squad sitting in a wooden house in X3 and a T-34 in X5 will be our targets, while our ADO leader and radio will be on the first level hill in R2. The caliber and type of artillery available to this observer is written on the scenario card. For our example, we will use 100mm artillery. It is the German prep fire phase. The first thing the German player does is roll for radio contact. He rolls a 6. He has made contact with his artillery battery. Now the next step is to see whether he will get access to 100mm guns or if they are busy firing at someone else. This is where the draw pile comes in. He draws a card from this pile. If it's black, then he has access. If it is red, then he does not have access and his turn is over. The drawer in this case is black, so now he has access. Now the observer places an artillery request down on the board in line of sight of the observer counter. The next step after this is to call in a spotting round and to roll for accuracy. The Germans are accurate on a 1 or a 2 with 1 die. The roll is the one shown. So a spotting round lands in the hex where the spotter wanted to go. Now the prep fire phase is over. We now fast forward to the German defensive fire phase. The first thing the observer does is maintain radio contact with his gun battery. To maintain the radio contact, he needs to roll an 8 again, but now there is a -1 dice roll modifier to the roll. If it was a 70 or 80mm battalion mortar, there would be a -2 dice roll modifier to the roll. In this case, we assume the German observer rolls a 9. -1 DRM makes it an 8, so he still has contact. Since he can see the spotting round, and there are known enemy units in its hex or next to it, he can convert the SR to 100mm FFE, fire for effect. This means that the SR hex and the 6 hexes surrounding it will be hit with 100mm attack on the IFT. Now we will go through the effects of the 100mm attacks on the 2 Russian units shown. The effect on the 447 is straightforward, almost. It gets attacked on the IFT on the 20 column with a +2 DRM for being in the wooden building, but it also receives an additional +1 DRM for being on the bottom floor of the building, which has a 0 and a 1 level. If this building had a 0, 1, and 2 level, the Russian unit would have received a +2 for having 2 levels above it. In our example, the German player rolls an 8. +3 is an 11. This results in a normal morale check on the 20 column, which the Russian unit passes with a 6. The only other unit which can be hit is the tank. To see how this affects the tank, the first table we use is C1.55. We have to see which armor factors apply to this T-34. In this case, none of these modifiers apply. All the armor factors are not less than or equal to 4. It is not open-topped, and all the armor factors for the tank are not greater than 8. The German player rolls on the 20 IFT column against the tank. If he gets a KA result after all modification, the vehicle is destroyed with normal crew survival possibilities. If it gets a K/number result or 1 greater than the K/number result, it is immobilized on a hull hit and shocked on a turret hit. Using the 100 IFT column on a dice roll of 5 or 4, the T-34 will be shocked on a turret hit and immobilized on a hull hit. If the die roll is a 3 or less, the vehicle is destroyed. For example purposes, we will say the roll by the German is a red 3 and a white 2, resulting in a hull hit and an immobilization. The crew passes its immobilization task check and stays in its tank. The firing in this turn is now done. The FFE-1 is now flipped to an FFE-2 in preparation for the next firing phase. We now fast forward to the next Prep 5 phase for the Germans. In this example, we will simply keep the FFE-2 where it is and attack the same units again with the same modifiers applied. At the end of the FFE-2, it is replaced with an FFE-C counter, which is acting as a marker where the FFE is landing. In case by some chance another unit would enter this area, but these units will not be attacked again by this FFE. This example shows how artillery works in the ideal situation in ASL. However, like in real warfare, things rarely go as planned. That is where the follow-up videos are going. This concludes our first video on OBA and ASL. Please remember that this and all my videos are simply introductions to help you get enough confidence to dive in and have some fun playing this great game. If you like this video and the rest of my videos, like us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, thoughts, or suggestions, feel free to contact us at jdhobbies@live.com. And like always, thanks for watching.